That was quite the storm that just passed through. A whole bunch of hail, a lot of lightning and thunder. I'm gonna walk out here and show you guys what it did to our little shade cloth here on the chicken coop. Look at that. The alfalfa's looking all right. Doesn't look like it stripped too much of the leaves off or knocked any stems off too bad. At least in this field here. Maybe sometimes that hail will come through and it'll just shred your leaves right off the plant and just leave you stems. But I think it doesn't look too bad. Been working on some firewood this last week. This is a load that I got the other day. Got it blocked up and my stepdad came to help me split it already. Just been throwing it back here in this wood shed. See, our tarp's been blown apart throughout the summer, so we've just been tossing the split chunks back there, and I'll eventually start stacking it up. And I've got some lengths back here I'm gonna start blocking up. I was gonna do it this afternoon, but with how muddy everything's gotten, I might not do it today. I'm gonna block all these up, and got a few quakies I've blocked up already back there. We'll get this split, and I'm hoping that'll about do it for wood this year. Once we get it stacked up, I'll be able to know for sure how much we got here. Pretty foggy this morning. So we've probably gotten more rain these last 2 days than what we've gotten all summer. It's sure been coming down.
So if you watched my last video, you'd have seen me just barely getting this field of hay cut just in time for it to get rained and hailed on. It's taken almost a whole week for it to get to this point to be somewhat dry enough to even start to work with.
Yeah, some of it's pretty wet right here. That.
Yeah, that's too much.
Seems to be raking up pretty nice, but I'm getting a little bit worried about this wind that we're having. If we get a strong enough wind, it will take these windrows and just blow them all the way across the field. But we're kind of in a predicament where we need to get this rolled over, because you can see how wet the underside of these windrows are. I mean, I can still feel the moisture on my hands on the bottom of these windrows, so we need to get them flipped over and get them dried out a bit before we can bale it up. You see over in that windrow there's a big patch of wet grass there. But some of this stuff's pretty dry and light already, and we're just worried that if it blows much harder than what it is, I'll take some of these windrows and just scatter them. But I don't think we really have a choice. We need to get it raked over, so. So I finished raking that one piece I was working on. Then we got another piece across the spring there that we need to rake too, but it's a lot lighter and a lot thinner. We didn't want to rake it up and have the wind blow it away, so we'll probably just be able to rake it and bale right behind the rakes. But my dad called me and he wants to go pick him up down here on the river, down on our place. He's cutting hay down there. So he probably wants to take a side-by-side down there so he can come back up. So earlier today I finished getting all our wood stacked here in our little wood shed. Filled it up about all the way full. So I'll probably try to finish topping this off right here and then put a little row in here on the front. I got some blocks back here I can split and fill that up with, and then we'll be good for wood for this winter. You ready? You start it? Good job, buddy. You can see how much this grass is coming back since that last video. We got all that rain and that hail, and sure it's kind of greened things up around here. This morning I'm just running back down to Randall's, see if I can't finish raking that little bit of hay that we have left down there to rake, and see if we can't do some baling later on today once it dries out a little bit more. Then, yeah, I seen last night my dad was down cutting that grass on the river, excuse me, so we'll probably just bale that up around and turn it into silage, and we'll probably end up doing that today too. So we'll see, we'll just have to see what we can do today. I don't know if that stuff down there will be dry enough to bale dry. If not, we'll probably just jump up here and start doing round bales up here. Luckily none of these windrows blew away yesterday, but I think it's going to take another day to get some of this heavier stuff to dry enough to bale, so hopefully they don't blow away today. We'll just check it later this afternoon and see how it's feeling. Maybe I'll be surprised and we can bale it later tonight, but we'll see. So I'm just going around these outside windrows, because when we're raking this, you know, you're coming down these windrows and you turn and go back the other way. You drag your rake through these outside windrows, and it leaves a big old ball of hay. So then when you come back and do your rounds, sometimes it just leaves a big giant mound here. So I'm just trying to spread these out a bit more to help it dry, not have any big wet spots in there. I got this other side raked up, and I think it's gonna be dry enough to bale. There's a couple patches that are a little wet still, but you can see here that the weather's changed again, and it looks like we're gonna get some rain tomorrow. It looks like it's gonna start about 11 or 12 there around noonish, so I don't think we really have much of a choice but try to bale this up today and see how it turns out. I just got a few more windrows here on this piece and I'll have this one finished. I've got a line of bales here, another line of bales kind of down in that corner there. Seems like it's been baling up pretty nice and pressure seemed about right, and I've tested a few of these bales and none of them seem too wet. I know a couple of these ones that were on the edges around the rounds had some wet chunks in them, but I've marked them with some tape and hopefully we keep them off to the side so we don't stack them in the stack. But it's pretty good relief to get this baled up because it's going to rain tomorrow, and if it rains a lot, that would sure make a mess of these windrows since we've got these two raked together. So if these got really wet, we'd sure have a heck of a time trying to get these dried out again. These are some pretty heavy windrows here. So we'll just keep chugging away on this piece and then I'll hop over the spring here. I don't know how you can see it, but all these willows here. So that's a spring. On the other side of them willows is the other field we're doing here. So I'll finish this and hop over there. Everyone, so we still got rain coming today, what it looks like. So I just ran down here to the river this morning to try to finish baling up this grass hay that we got here. We're just gonna roll it up and put it in those silage bags and turn it into silage. It looks like, well, the weather's calling for about 11 o'clock 12 o'clock that rain's supposed to show up. We'll see. So I'm just gonna get going this morning and see what I can get done. Some big heavy windrows here. Got this all baled up down here. Made quite a few bales. I didn't really count them, but there's got to be 20, 25 just in this little area here. I'll run back up and grab the loaded tractor and the wagon and come back down here and get them loaded up. And the weather's still saying it's supposed to rain here in a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours, but sure isn't looking like it. Still pretty nice blue, clear skies, so I guess we'll see what happens. bag. Now I'm just running down to Randall's to see if we can get that hay picked up that we were baling on yesterday with that 3x3 baler. So I'm heading down there with this loader tractor and a couple wagons, and my brother's coming down with the truck and trailer. We're gonna see if we can't shuttle, you know, our share up to our place, and then we'll try to get Randall's share here on the wagons and down in his shed. But I don't know, it's starting to look a little bit stormy now, so we'll see how long the rain holds off for. Gotta look across the west hills here, and it's starting to look a little bit like rain. Brother's heading out with that first load, and he'll go get unloaded and come back. And I'll start loading up these wagons, and if I get these loaded up before he gets back, I'll just start staging the bales so he can just come right in with the truck and trailer and pull this load right there. I'll get them staged for him. So it's holding off so far. Raindrops, but not much yet. So I've got 20 bales staged here for when my brother comes back. We'll just load them up real quick. Then I've got the wagons. I got 25 bales over on them wagons loaded up, so I can start heading out of this field with them. And I'll just take, I only got 2 more bales left in this side of the field, so I'll take them 2 over to that other side and stage them with them other ones. It's kind of sprinkling just a little bit. You can see over there on Black Mountain and that it's raining, looks like a fair amount over there, but just barely sprinkling here. If you look on the hood, you just barely see just little sprinkles. So if this is all it does, then we should be fine. Dad's taking load number 2.
We've been getting really lucky so far today. These storms just seem to be splitting right around us. It's been giving us the time we need to try and get this hay hauled out of here.
Well, I don't think this one's going to miss us. It's like a pretty good rain cloud coming in, pretty good amount of rain. I just loaded up this last little bit of hay, so everything out here is all hauled out now once I get this wagon out of here. And then if I can get up there and get this in the shed before that rain hits, that'll be even better. The timing is pretty good, really. Didn't quite make it. I just had to hop out and get a video of that rainbow. So these last few bales that I wasn't able to get into the shed before they got rained on, I'm just gonna stick them under the shed, but just keep them stacked up how they are, just on top of each other, and then let them dry out. Then here in, I don't know, 4 or 5 days when they're all dry, I'll just put them with the rest of the stack. But we about had it. We were down to our last, I think, 10, 12 bales. We would have been done. So these are all the bales that we had left to put in the hay shed. So what is there? 10 of them. So I'm just gonna leave them like this for a little while. I just think they're a little bit too wet to be stacked on top of each other. These tops got pretty wet, and so we'll let them dry out for 3 or 4 days, and then we'll just finish stacking them here in this row. We'll be starting on our second crop here probably in the next week or so, so we'll be down here anyway before too long, and I can stack these back up. So I guess the weatherman actually was right today, just about 6 or 7 hours late, but it did rain though, so I guess he was right. But I'll probably end this one right here, then I'll give you some dinner. If you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.